Well, thank you. And here we are in another interview for the Shield Doing the Couch. Today, I'm joined by Pia Isa, who's the lead singer of the group Superlynx, and she's about to unveil her first solo recording, which comes out on March 25th. It's Pia Isa. It's called Distorted Chants. How are you today, Pia?
Hey, thank you. I'm good, thanks. Hope
Good,
you're
good.
too.
Good. So I had the pleasure of listening to the Distorted Chants album. And I must say, it's very interesting. It's a very atmospheric listen. How did you approach the writing process for Distorted Chants, say from what you do with your group, Superlynx?
I guess the biggest difference is that everything just came from me. I sort of went into my own space, mentally and physically almost. I spent a lot of time when I decided to do the album. I sort of locked myself in a little bit, and during a few months, it was during lockdown last year. I just really started writing, and it's sort of kicked off a process that where songs just came flowing. And what's different from when I work with Superlynx, we're always three people coming with ideas, and there's we have maybe in a writing process we meet up 3 times a week maybe, but here I could really go on like a full-time thing.
So
and I
go ahead.
I recorded demos first with layers of guitars and just had the songs finished, and then we started recording the album.
So you were in full lockdown. Did the lockdown influence the sound of Distorted Chants?
I don't really think so, because I think it would have been a very solitary process either way, I think. But it gave the time to just focus on it a lot more than when normal life is happening.
So when you were working on this album, you said that you first started, I know that you recorded both guitars and the bass parts for this, and you had musicians. I think one of the musicians for Superlynx did play on one of the songs, and you had other.
He actually plays the drums on all the songs.
On all the songs.
Yes, the drums. Yeah.
Okay, so when you were working on the guitars and the bass parts, did you already have like the lyrics, or do you work first on the music, and then when you listen to the music, you decide which lyrics fits better with the music that you're creating?
I sort of work all over the place. I have different processes, and all at once when I get ideas for riffs or melodies, that's what I focus on. But the words are the thought process of the lyrics is just an ongoing thing. And then sometimes when I play or start making a new song, it just comes like quite naturally from my mind, like what lyrics I have in my head, like fits this feeling or style of the riff, or so.
Yeah, I must let you know that when I started listening to the album Follow the Sun, that first initial riff, it really felt a lot like Black Sabbath, that initial riff in their first album that is real slow and doomy. Was it influenced in part by Black Sabbath?
Not directly, but of course Black Sabbath is a band I've listened to a lot, and I really like the really slow, simple, almost minimalistic riffs that they sometimes have. I think it's just a general influence, it's just been there in the back of my mind, but it was not like I was trying to create a Black Sabbath riff, but
it just felt like the mood, not a copy paste, but it did feel like very very Sabbathy. And so listening to the album, I find that it's a very personal album. You really bury your soul on some songs, and I want to focus on a song in particular that I thought was really personal, and that's the song Trauma. There's a line in Trauma where you say, "Bury so deep, but the body does not forget." I thought that was such a potent lyric. Can you go more into like what that song is about?
Yeah, it's true that it's very personal, and without being like too private. No, it's about dealing with things that leave a trace in your experiences, that leave a trace, like even physically, that's like disturbing to think about, but also sometimes when you've been through a trauma, sometimes you're not even aware, but your body like starts reacting, or you started shaking, or can be a quite physical thing. And I thought of it like, is there any way to look upon the body as some kind of a teacher of these things that when you're not even aware yourself, it's almost like it starts protecting you and keeping you from maybe repeating or going near that same experience. Like, yeah, that's the main thing.
I think the beauty of that song is that it can relate to, it can be any type of trauma, and like a lot of people can relate to it. And the lines is, that line really, when it stood out to me when I listened to that line. I'm like, wow, this is a really strong and personal song. I think it's one of the most personal ones on the album. Obviously, the album is filled with some amazing lyrics, and the songs really build atmosphere. And something that I was thinking about, is there like a running concept for this album?
Yes and no, not like very directly, but I think when I started making the album, I had a lot of things that I had a lot of ideas that I wanted to work with, and I also had a lot of things that I needed to deal with in a way in my own personal life. And doing that, it's mixed together in a way, so it's coloring the whole album, of course. And there's also this idea that there is hope, and there is like a solution or light, or like, yeah, I didn't want it to be like too hopeless of a feeling, or so that's the overall theme, I guess. And calmness was very important to me, like keeping it low and calm and
I like
simple.
that all the songs seem to connect with each other. And I was obviously reading about you and your bio, and you find a lot of inspiration in the natural resources from your country, Norway, which is a beautiful country, by the way. I went once and I need to go back.
Cool.
How much does nature and your environment take into account the themes, and how the music was created for Distorted Chants?
I guess I have a kind of deep relationship with nature. I've always had, and I'm always I'm very connected to the sea. I come from an island, and the coast is like a big part of my daily whereabouts, and also the forests. And I have I think I have quite a like philosophical relationship with nature as well. Like I feel connected to it, and I think about that stuff quite a bit.
That's a good thing, because I think nowadays everyone's so connected to computers and the phone, that I think it's sometimes you need to go out in nature and just take it all in. And when I was listening to this album, I felt like it felt like you, even though you're listening to it, it feels like you could listen to the music and take a walk. Like it feels like music that you should be outside listening to it. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, but that's the type of what I felt when I was listening to Distorted Chants. So when you're writing the music and the lyrics, what other things inspire you to create?
I think it's a hard question to answer, because it's just a natural thing. It's always there. I get these ideas and I hear these melodies, and it's just been something I've been doing since I was like 13, I think. Just making up music and playing and expressing myself that way. I think it's just a thing.
It's just something that comes, naturally to you.
Yeah. of course I dive in and I work on it, and then of course the more time I spend creating, the more like things I come up with, of course, but it's just a constant thing.
What was it more challenging for you working in this solo project that working on a band, or was it a seamless process since you've been working with music for such a long time now?
It's actually, in some ways it's easier because it's not only one decision maker, not three. And I could like just dive into my ideas without any like compromises or discussions about it, or I could just go with what I felt was right. And that was a cool thing to do. But it's also difficult in the way that you can't just try out how would stuff sound like if the drums did this, or if we changed certain things. And so I kind of have to record it and then see, and then should I make a change? So it's of course different pros and cons, I would say.
Okay. I think the song Quiet Beach is another standout track on the album. It feels very moody, you know, a lot of atmosphere. How was the creation of that song, and what is the song about?
It's really about maybe a little of the same as in Trauma, but here is the focus, finding that inner peace throughout, where I use the water and waves as a symbol of like a messy mind in a way. Mm-hmm. And trying to like keep focus on that quiet beach that you're gonna end up at. And that's like, for me, the image of a quiet beach is like really peaceful, and yeah, one of the most calm and best places I can be. And
yeah, it feels like, you know, like just sit down and just look at the beach and relax. So yeah, that's the type of vibe I felt from the song. So there were the recording of the album, did you do parts of the recording in your house or parts in a studio? How did that go?
Everything was recorded in our house, actually. We have no home studio here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that was really an intense in-house session.
So yeah, you could wake up, have your breakfast, and then just go and record. Yeah, that's very very convenient.
Except it was more like in the nighttime than the morning, but yeah. And then Gary Arce from Yawning Man, he's contributing with some guitar on 3 songs, and then he just recorded over in California where he lives and sent the files, and then we added them to the songs later.
On which 3 songs did he work on?
That's Follow the Sun, Trauma, and a song called No Straight Line. Okay.
And so the album, obviously, there's all those themes, and I was listening obviously to things that you've done in the past for Superlynx, and there's a cover that you did last year of Something in the Way by Nirvana that I love that song, but you really made it your own. Why did you pick that song as a cover?
We really wanted to pick some different songs that had been important to us throughout our music life, and Nirvana is one of the bands that I really made me want to do music when I was like a really young teenager, and I really love that song, and we felt we could like it would fit well for us as a calm, heavy song that we thought like, yeah, we had ideas for how we could do it, and we all agreed that it's a great song. We can try to do something.
No, the song really like it really went with the style that you guys play, and it's also one of my favorite Nirvana songs. As you can tell, I have that Nirvana album in the back. Yeah, so I'm a huge Nirvana fan, and I like the things that you did with it. So going back to Distorted Chants, was there what was the hardest song to work on, or a song that almost like you came up at last minute that almost didn't make the album?
I think none of the songs almost didn't make it because they were all ready when we started recording, but I would say Trauma because it's the most personal song, and I was really in doubt if I should like have the lyrics that personal, or is it like too private? Am I going to be just too nervous about sharing it with the world? And so it's more like these thoughts that I was like a little concerned about. And then in the middle of the song, or later in the song, there's this sort of scream, and that was really hard for me to do with like Ole, who produced the album, who is the drummer also. Really pushed me to do that, and I'm glad he did, but that was a difficult moment.
I think it's good. Sometimes the most beautiful art comes from a true place, and like I told you, that was a song that when I was listening to the album, it stood out to me, and I'm like, I have to ask her about this song because it felt like really personal, and I can see why you would hesitate to put it out. So I want to, in these interviews, I like showing the cover art of the albums, and I like the cover art for this album a lot. I think it's very representative of the album. So you see the moon and the beach. Who came up with the concept for this album cover?
I did. I made the cover, and I just tried out different ways of finding a visual representation that I thought could fit like with the atmosphere of the album and the songs and the lyrics and the content. And I think I landed on this one because I thought it represented the content of the album the best way.
Yeah, it really to me, it really represents, when you look at that cover, like what the type of music that you're going to listen to. And what I like a lot about your voice is that you can, it's soothing at times, but also you can sing harder, but it always has that melody. Which singers, female singers in the past, have inspired you as a singer and vocalist?
I'm not really sure because there's so many, and I haven't really thought that much about if they're male or female. I think I just when I was younger and played in bands, I think I was I don't know, I can't really say one special
specific
voice. I think it's just a combination, but I've always tried to find like how it's natural for me to sing, because I wanted to have a natural flow and like use my voice naturally and not try to like create a certain singing style, if you know what I mean. That's
very it sounds very organic.
Yeah That's, I think, is the word I'm looking for.
So what are the future plans for Pia Isa now when you release this album? Do you have some shows booked, or what is next?
First of all, it's a focus on the release, and it's going to be a release party in Oslo on the same day as the album comes out. When it comes to live performances, that's still a little uncertain if I'm going to take it live. I do want to, but it's a question of time and people and some circumstances that are a little unclear right now. But I do hope that sometime in the future there's going to be some live shows, and I think there's going to be more music. I've already written a few songs that I think I'm gonna like continue that process into a new album.
Oh, nice.
So I'm feeling that it's an ongoing project that I'm just gonna have like for when I feel like it's time to do like my own music next to my band's music.
No, I really like the album a lot. It's a very enjoyable album the whole way through it. I love the atmospherics to it. So I can't wait to listen for what's next from you. So again, I want to thank you for taking some time to speaking with me today. For everyone, the new album, Distorted Chants, comes out on March 25th. And where can they get the physical copies and the pre-orders?
The pre-orders are through my label Argonauta Records, so that's the place to go. And a little later, I will also be selling physical vinyls on my own Bandcamp, which is bandcamp.com.
So now you guys know where you can get the music. I'm going to put the link here so people can go, and people who want to buy it physically can. And again, Pia, I want to thank you for your time. And until next time, this is Hector the Shield doing the couch, and I'll see you next time on the couch. Thank you and good night.